Episode 42 of the Too Thicc Pod, your home for all things sports, cards, and levity. I am the man with the plan. I'm actually just a kid that's excited to go play with cardboard and hook up with hobby homeboys. But I am Jeremy. You can follow me at Reckless Cards. I'm joined by the man I'll be breaking wax with, rubbing elbows, bumping shoulders, touching wangs. None other than Manny. What's going on, kid?
I'm pumped. It's not just episode 42. It is National Week. Tomorrow we'll be going to Atlantic City. I'm flying, you're driving, so I feel sorry. I'm sorry. But I'm going on an airlines that I've never been on before, and I'm a little nervous. I've never heard of them. So we'll see how that goes.
Who are you flying with?
I have no idea. I've never heard of them.
That's a good start. Start. Anywhere that I can't fly direct with Delta, I'm like, nah, miss me with that.
Yeah, I'm very bougie when it comes to that too. So if I don't make it, you know why. And welcome to your hobby release. So I know we're scatterbrained. I'm a little scatterbrained, but I'm so excited about tomorrow. Be my first national. I get to see everyone. I get to see Jeremy. I have to travel across the country to actually hang out with you. So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, we live within 2 hours of each other, and we go and meet in fucking Atlantic City.
Yeah, you're too good for me. It's fine.
And before you get started, the whole driving thing, like, that's because there's no direct flight. And I'm not flying into Philadelphia. I'm not flying into New Jersey just to turn around and rent a car or get an Uber. And I'm a road warrior, you know what I mean? So, like, driving ain't no thing. I mean, my preference would be to fly. But to me, because we're taking a bunch of shit, it's a lot easier just to travel and be able to put it in the car. You know,
Go ahead.
No. So last National, we left and we bought a massive lot. And I was thinking if I was flying, there's no way I would have been able to buy it because I would have no way of getting it home. So to me, driving's okay. It's me and my beautiful, lovely wife, no kids. So we'll enjoy ourselves.
Yeah. Well, how long is the drive? You know?
8.5, 9 hours.
Oh, that's not bad at all. You drive that every day.
Hey, I just got dinged. I got a speeding ticket in Michigan, dude. Michigan never pulls anybody over for anything, and I got a speeding ticket Sunday at like 5 p.m.
Jeez, where were you going? Because I go like 80, and they just like wave at me, pretty much.
Well, the cop was cool, man. He gave me a ticket for going 1 to 5 over, so no points, nothing on my record. I just paid my fine and go on my merry way. So I was going 1 to 5 over, so a ticky-tack ticket, but whatever, you know. Yeah, so I'm gonna. Yeah. But once I get that ticket, you better believe my ass gets over in that slow range. I go 4 over, put it on cruise control, and that's that. So
no, you you need to go to court and fight it because he won't show up.
Probably. And so, like, you know, the thing will be we'll grab a little Starbucks at 5 o'clock in the morning, and we'll make our way. And tomorrow's a big deal to court, and big ups to her. Not that I would ever wear a non-fitted hat. I grew up poor, so snapbacks were like all I ever wanted as a kid was a fitted hat.
Yeah.
You know, new era, 5950, hit me with that, maybe a little Mitchell and Ness. But she made these to give away for the women of the hobby night school we're doing tomorrow. And she's getting a lot of love for them, so I'm rocking it here tonight on the Too Thicc Pod.
And if you're listening to it on podcast, you need to go on YouTube and see this hat. It's awesome. It's like would you say a trucker hat?
I don't know. She keeps saying Stranger Things, but I've never seen Stranger Things, and I keep dusting. I don't know what the hell that is. I don't know what it means. I'm too lazy to go look it up. And it's actually not lazy. It's more like I'm an asshole. And so because it's super popular, I'm going to go out of my way to completely avoid it and not understand. I'm being willfully ignorant.
I mean, you would actually like it. But the thing, I guess we're going back to flying. I feel like we're kind of got the bougie treatment because I don't know the flight, first of all, but they're taking our baggage from the flight to our hotel and driving us to the from the airport to the hotel. So we don't have to worry about any of that. I don't know where we're flying in. I don't know any. I just go with the plan. So
well, I know you guys are flying out of Bishop, and that's a cool airport because it's easy. I don't even think you pay for parking. It takes you 3 minutes to get through security, and it's easy peasy. So I flew Bishop to Atlanta like all the time. And so anytime I can fly out of Bishop, I like the experience.
Do you know the flights, the names of the airlines that are there?
Well, they got Delta, and then they've got Spirit,
nope,
Allegiant,
nope,
Frontier,
nope.
They got a bunch of yeah. You're on budget econo air, my friend.
I know. I was like, I have no idea what I'm on. But yeah, let's talk national. Tomorrow we both get in. Doors open at, was it 3:00? 4:00?
Doors open when I get there. There's already people there, man. And this isn't going to be like bring your charger, all that stuff, which is all like valuable, good stuff to know. Let's just, hey man, I'm excited. I just want to go through. I want to get through the hobby night school. A little bit of nerves, you know what I mean? You want to make sure it's quality stuff. You want to make sure the people have a good time. Courtney picked up a bunch of WNBA retail or hobby. I'm not sure. She picked up a bunch of wax to give away to the girls and the ladies that are attending. So I think that was really cool and thoughtful. But yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting people, seeing people, understanding who these avatars on and who these Twitter profile eggs are, and putting a face to the name. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Ryan, Cards LLC on Twitter. He posted kind of a tweet, and it was like a tweet longer, but I'm going to read it. Take a second to read it, because if you're going to the National, this is kind of big, because everyone goes to these shows trying to make, there's like a lot of people that are going are trying to make money, right? Well, he said he wanted to kind of put this out before the actual National. He said, let's see. Let me find it.
I appreciate you being prepared. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. I did the wrong tweet. And he tweets a lot, to be honest. So I'm trying to find it. Bear with me. I'm sorry.
So Ryan, I've bought some cards off of him on Twitter. The dude has like 24,000 people. And I don't think I've ever seen somebody on a social media platform, like maybe outside of Whatnot, sell so many cards so damn quick. And I swear, and I'm sure you can talk with him. I swear some days he buys so much that he gets midway through a sale and he just says, fuck it. We're just going to do a mystery pack. And then like people buy these mystery packs at like $600, $700, $800, $900 a pack and seem to be happy. So the way he operates, man, it's cool. Although I will tell him when he does the reveals on Twitter to show off the cards, the video quality sucks.
Yeah.
It's brutal. So he always has to go to Instagram. He shows it off there and then goes back to Twitter to sell.
He even has like Phil Hughes, he's like good friends with Carlos Randon and all of them that buy from him. So it's not just like me peons buying, and you got professional athletes that buy from him as well. Well, here, I found it. So here's his little statement. For those of you attending the National this week, just want to put out this little message for everyone. While 80% of us are here hoping to make money, flip cards, make trades, and grind for hours on end, don't let that get in the way of just exactly what is going on in the massive convention center. We all live hundreds or some thousands of miles away from each other. We talk through Twitter, Instagram, and text. But we are all going to be in one building at one time. Take it all in and don't lose in the grind, and enjoy the power social media has given us between being able to talk and interact and meet new people and old friends. So I like that kind of, because, I mean, we met just recently, but we've been talking through social media like all the time. It's good to finally get to put like you said, an avatar to a face. A lot of these card shows, the bigger card shows, it seems like more and more people are just excited to hang out with people that talk cards like you and want to buy the same type of cards. And I don't know, you've been to bigger card shows, so you could kind of attest to that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good point, because you can also burn yourself out, man. I'm an old man. I'm an old, tired dog. And I was telling you, me and Courtney were rocking with these kids till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, because there's just so much activity and you feel like you don't want to miss out. And I will say that from my personal experience, we're not going there with trying to buy anything. There's a couple of like bigger cards that if it happens, great. If not, unless like a crazy money play presents itself, I'm going there just to see stuff, network, shoot the breeze, and have a good time. enjoy those moments, man, because you're not going to see every single card, and you might end up driving yourself crazy if you hold yourself to an unrealistic expectation of trying to see everything, do everything, and make every deal. There's tremendous power and value that can be made if you make the right kind of relationships. You know what I mean? You make contact with that one person who collects the same thing as you do, or knows somebody where when that grail pops up, instead of sifting through looking for a needle in a haystack, you know what I mean? Hey, you made contact with Joe Schmo from Kalamazoo. Guess what? He slides in the DMs. Next thing you know, you got the card on its way. So yep. I thought it was well put.
Yeah, I did too. And speaking of that, do you want to talk about that card? How crazy that was?
What's that?
The Lewis Robert card?
Yeah, so I am an anxious person.
You're the best.
I am an anxious person, and so I have the freedom and flexibility in the real life that I create my own schedule. I've got a team of people that work for me. Awesome people. But I don't rest well. I'm a bad sleeper to begin with, but if I feel like things are hanging out there, like it just eats at me. So I decided there's a couple of projects that my company we're going to be bidding on. So myself and my daughter took off Saturday morning, drove to Missouri to go look at these jobs, me and the kid. And then we were going to look at a couple of different jobs and make our way back and just sacrifice the weekend because I'm basically taking this whole week off for national. And it just so happened that we went to Missouri, made our way back, and there was a project right outside of Quincy, Illinois. Little, I don't want to say podunk, but there's not a whole hell of a lot going on. Mm-hmm. And you call me and you're like, for a minute, it took me, I thought like you and Courtney were messing with me or something, because you called and you're like, don't tell me that you're in Quincy, Illinois. And I just got off at the exit and I was going to get gas. And I was okay, this fucking guy's a creep, was my first reaction. But kind of long, boring story short, you had a card that you wanted to take to national. The guy who had the card just so happened to be in Quincy, Illinois. So What are the odds that somebody from Michigan who has no reason to be in that area on the weekend before national, driving 16, 17, 18 hours round trip, whatever it was, to be there and be able to swing by and pick up your lubob?
Yeah, it was so I was texting him and he's on Instagram at Gem City Sports Cards. It's Rick, Gem City Sports Cards. And I was texting him and he was trying to find a way to get my card to nationals, and it was kind of too late to send through mail. How the process of that goes.
Right.
So he was trying to figure out, and he's like, I live in Quincy. I knew that. And then prior, I knew that you're going through Missouri. And I was like, does he drive right by Quincy? So I gave a call and I was like, Jeremy, is there any chance that you're in Quincy right now? And he's like, yeah. And so we got hooked up. I got my lubob card. Pretty excited, pretty mad about the grade though. PSA is grading harder, it seems like.
Yeah, here's the crazy thing. You're talking about logistics. We had a couple of orders that we put out, and I'm like, these have to go. These have to go. And I think it was on a Friday. And for whatever reason, real life gets in the way. They didn't go. They got shipped Monday. Well, I had two orders, one through TNT Sports Cards. There was an SGC order that popped, and one through Nash Cards. There was an SGC order that popped. And they're going to return while I'm gone in Las Vegas or Atlantic City.
Oh, no.
I mean, not a big deal because, you need inventory for future shows. But I'm like, man, some of this would have been nice to have, you know what I mean, to use into, deals for trade nights, because I am keen on the trade nights. So yeah. I will say this. I did the $100 express order, or whatever the $100 service level is for PSA, did it myself. And I got that card back in 11 days.
Oh, wow.
Door to door. So I got some soccer back, which I was happy about that. So I'm glad to be taking some cards, but trade nights are going to be, I don't want to say epic because that gets thrown around, but in my opinion, they're a blast and they're a little bit of a big deal.
Yeah. I'm like I was telling you prior, I've never been to a trade night, so I'm going to be overwhelmed, especially at kids with Zion cases that pull out, that look at my cards and be like, yeah, move on. I don't even know what to do. Do we just sit at a table and put our cards out if we get there early enough, or are we walking around?
Yeah, I feel, for me, I feel most comfortable posting up, putting my stuff out. I try to have all my stuff priced, so I try to make it like really streamlined. Boom, 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 boom. And then we always work in like pairs because a lot of people are like, hey, can I look at that? Can I see that? So I'm always like mindful. Like, you want to see the good in people, but the reality is theft is a big deal. So I would encourage anybody who's doing this sort of stuff, like, partner with somebody, get somebody you can trust to kind of keep an eye on your stuff, because you might be working a deal over here. The next thing you know, one of your cards walks away. But to your original question, we like to put the stuff out on the table, let people come by if they're interested. Dude, I probably sell, historically, not always, but historically as a whole, I've always sold more than I've ever even traded.
Oh, wow. And it's crazy because how you're explaining it, it seems like it's just another card show. Like, you're set up. The only thing that scares me is you told me last year you couldn't even walk through a trade night. It seems like it would be so easy for someone just to yank a card. But
Sure.
if you pair up, that, I guess that would help. We'll have to bring the enforcers with us to trade night.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, it's cool though. It's a great way. You sit around, like, you see, like, everybody throws this thing around, like, the story about the card. And it's not always, like, sometimes I think that people just say that and they don't actually mean it. But like, when you run into somebody that's like, oh man, you collect this, and like you start talking about like the reasoning behind the collection, which in a way is still like the story.
Yeah.
But like, you make those connections with people, or you understand what they're doing, or I always like, how did you get into this card? Because it's very rarely I bought this card for 25K. It's always like, man, I got this, like, I got this TJ Warren, and when he went off for 2 games, I put it on eBay and somebody hit that. And then I got this, and I was part of this crazy trade. And it's like, it's cool, because then you draw like parallels within your own collection of like how you got into some bigger cards, because some of the, like, besides like our P Will, are cards that we traded and worked our way up or climbed the ladder.
Yeah. Are you looking to get move that Justin Herbert?
Yeah.
The auto? Yeah, that would be a good one to move. I feel like, what are you actually looking for? If you are buying, you said you're not really looking to buy. Is there a specific sport that you're kind of like targeting?
I would like to. So we keep personal money separate from reckless money, right? So as much as like there's some sweet Patrick Williams that are available that I would love nothing more than to go buy. But once you tie up all your money in PC items, it kind of gets stagnant. So unless there's like a killer P Will, which there is one that I've been going back and forth with that maybe might make a play for. Like, I feel confident that I can make a play for. Other than that, I'm going to be, if I do make any deals, unless it's like a Jordan or Kobe auto, just going to be looking probably to trade down to acquire more assets.
Okay. Yeah, because you guys go to card shows, so you kind of need that inventory to set up that card shows, right?
And here's the thing, man, and this is important, like building your network and understanding who you can deal with. It's cool the first time you get a 4-figure card, right? Like, I'm not gonna lie, that's a cool feeling, because when you start, you're like, man, how did these people get there? And then you get there. Well, what sucks is oftentimes a 4-figure card, and again, not always, I'm kind of speaking vaguely, but a 4-figure card tends to be a little bit more rare, a little bit more scarce, and becomes a little bit more difficult to move. So if you're like a guy who's got 52 people on Instagram, 43 people on Twitter, and you fear putting this thing at auction and maybe it not going for the number that you want or need it to go for, sometimes those bigger cards can become a pain in the ass. And so the sandbox that we play in, our audience is growing, and I'm sure, but it's a lot easier to sell $100 cards than it is to sell a 5-figure card.
Yeah. No, it takes more work, but I mean, it's easy. Like, the amount of time to flip that is actually a good thing. And I have like a couple $1,000 cards, but not $1,000. Not $1,000 anymore. They used to be $1,000 when I bought them. So, That's tough too. But and I'm at that point where do I sell them or do I keep them like for PC? Like for example, I was showing you this. It's the Kobe Bryant. It's with the coating. It's a PSA 10. This was at one point. I mean, this was like high market was like $4,000 or 20
Sure.
at four. Now it's like 900, $800. It's like at this point, do I just keep it? It's kind of cool to have. Not a lot of people have it with the coating.
Did you pay 4K for it?
No, I traded into it. So when I first got back into the hobby, I was getting into breaks, and for $25, guess what I pulled? A gold mosaic, fast break mosaic of Luka Doncic, 1 out of 10, and I graded it. It was a BGS 9.5. So at that point, that card was one sold for $3,500, and I traded this with a couple other Kobe cards with it. So, I mean, that Luka is the second year. I was like, okay, the documentary of Kobe, everyone thought it was going to stay stagnant, but Kobe market, dipped a little bit.
My fear for you, if I'm being brutally honest, is some people confuse activity with accomplishment. Yeah. And if you just make deals for the sake of making deals, it's not always going to work out the best way that you want. So there's still plenty of time. You might want to like focus in on what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I've been told I'm scatterbrained by someone, but maybe that's my problem.
You are scatterbrained, and I'll tell you to your face, you're fucking scatterbrained. You're all over the place. No, but here's the thing, man. Like, it's cool. You're gonna have some pieces. Like, to me, if a card loses money, I don't hold it. I really don't hold it. Like, it is what it is. It's like sunken cost fallacy. Yeah, I mean, you could maybe hold it, but I promise you, if I've got a good game plan, I'm going to take that 4,000 to 1,000, take that 1,000 and move back up to 4 or 5 instead of hoping that this one card goes back up. Because my suspicion is when that thing went to, like, what's even the pop on that? It's not the refractor. And I love that card too, because I bought it raw at like $400 or $500, and I took a bath on it when I finally sold it. But the people, your average guy in the hobby now is, in my opinion, significantly smarter than what they were 3, 4, 5 years ago, where people were just, just scooping up anything, expecting it to, have an ROI of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10x.
Yeah. The problem with this card, though, like my problem, I think it is I buy cards I like, players I like. So, like Kobe Bryant, I grew up loving Kobe Bryant. I bought the Lou Bob is one of my favorite players in baseball right now. I respected one player on the Yankees, which is Mariano Rivera. So I bought his rookie card. I love Marvel, so I bought Spider-Man was my favorite, one of my favorite besides Batman. So I buy cards. That's my problem is I can't see like how you can buy a mass of collections and go to a card show and resell it. I have to, in my mind, I have to buy players I like for some reason, and it always comes back. And that's probably why it comes back and haunts me.
Hey, man, I last did 618 best offer on that Kobe.
Oh, did it? It went down even more. Yeah, see, I can't get rid of that.
But that's best offer. That's not bids, and so that could just be somebody. That could just be, and then another one did $1,000 via auction. So
yeah,
you're probably closer to that G. Those buy it now is somebody could just be hard up for cash.
It's over 1,000. It's 1,723 for population. PSA price guide is at $1,000.
Yeah, so I'm probably, to me, if you think that card's going to go back up to 4, it's probably not.
No, it won't. It's yeah, I don't know.
And it's also yours is old label too, right?
Yeah, I was going to see if
I'm just going to keep shitting all over your collection. Yeah, it's old label. Probably be a PSA 6 and a modern slab. You know what I mean?
It honestly probably would. Looking at it.
So beyond like what you might buy or sell, are there any cards that you'd like to see, or is there anything that like, because you don't even know, like I think it was like last year, I thought one of the coolest things was going by Probstein, and I think he had like, I don't know, 10, 15 PSA 10 Jordans. That's like sweet. The 86 Fleer. And I was just like, wow. Just the sheer volume. And I always thought like one thing that like I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about, just kind of cool, is like they bring in these like massive vaults These big ass safes that just sit there. Like you can rent them for like the duration of the show, so you can lock up your valuables at nighttime. And I was just like, man, that's pretty wild. I would see these showcases just filled with Kobe autos. So I do think there's a lot of fun, just like maybe, and I think some of the bigger auction houses will have it, whether it's Golden or PWCC, where you can walk through and see some badass cards that you wouldn't see at your local LCS.
Yeah, they had them at PWCC had some like crazy cards at Mint. They had like, for example, the Gretzky PSA 10 and stuff like that. I'm excited to see the Mantle SGC 95. Did you see about that? I think they're bringing it to the National. It's up for auction. Heritage has it up for auction.
Is that confirmed? They're going to have it at their booth?
I think they're bringing it. That's what I read. Maybe they're not. They should, right? They had the Honus.
I think the Diamondbacks owner or that attorney out west who's got one of like the PSA 10s is considered like one of the best looking 10s. I think there's only 3 PSA 10s. I believe one of those is going to be at the show on display.
See, that's going to be cool to see. Like, because you don't see those. I want to see cards that I've never seen before in person that I've always, like a Honus Wagner, which they had at Chicago, a Mantle, and maybe get into, like, what I want to get into is basketball. I want to start getting some basketball cards right now. A lot of people's focuses are on football, so I'm going to start buying basketball. I try to go against the grain, but my new thing is like you kind of said, maybe I shouldn't go after players I like. Maybe I should go players that people like, and it probably will help me out in the long run.
Well, I mean, that's why we got football, right? Because, sorry, phone. I was buying like a ton of Kobe refractors, and I was buying like Jordan and like stuff that I liked that I also felt like was safe. Yeah, but I would go to a trade night, and like people would like breeze through my case, and I'm like, I know I've got some legitimately dope cards here, but they're like, do you have any quarterbacks? Do you have any football? And I'm like, no. So I mean, that's why like some part of what I have to do is play in a spot that I don't necessarily love personally. But if this is what the other people want to play with, like that's what I'm going to need to engage in deals.
Yeah, and I still have to learn that. Being with you, I've learned a lot just by watching you at like card shows, because there's players that you don't like that you have. You know what I mean? Like the Pistons, you hate the Pistons, but you're going to buy Pistons because you know it sells here.
Correct. Like I mean, that's why I picked up that Stafford 1/1.
Yeah.
The Bears fan doesn't want it. They don't give a shit about Matt Stafford. You come over to Michigan, he's like, Jesus Christ.
Are you selling that there?
I mean, I'm going to have it with me.
Yeah.
Why, are you interested? We could work out a deal. You got something that I want.
I'm not a Lions fan.
Yeah, you're a Michigander, bro.
Yeah, you technically are too. Pure Michigan.
By way of Chicago. So you
go
ahead.
Is there any professional athletes that you kind of want to meet, or anybody that you're excited to?
Nah.
None?
No.
I am.
Like I'm not a like fanboy like that. I don't hold it against anybody. I just like I've never been one to wait in line to get an autograph. I have no interest. Like there's certain people like in the industry, it'll be cool to like dap it up and say what up and like, you know, let them know I appreciate what they do, or, you know, have a good joke or have a good laugh or whatever. But man, I'm just the people I know. I want to go say hello. I want to have a good time, buy some people some coffee, maybe buy a couple adult beverages at nighttime.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited my idol, I would say one of my idols. I'm a bit like we talked about. I'm a big Red Sox fan. David Ortiz is going to be there. Our thick boy, David Ortiz. Big Poppy is going to be there. Also, growing up as a Cowboys fan, Emmitt Smith's going to be there. So that'd be cool to meet him. Barry Sanders is going to be there. There's going to be a lot of athletes there. You know what else I'm excited about? Bringing it back to cards. I don't know if they're going to do something like this, but last year I was trying to buy the whole set before the national news and it picks back up. But do you remember the DJ Ski collab with like Kanye?
Yeah. I remember DJ Ski did something. I don't remember it being with Kanye.
Yeah, it was like Auburn. Wow, I can't talk. It was collab with Kanye. Well, I wanted to get the set because it's actually kind of a cool set to get. But I don't know if there's going to be anything this year that he's doing or someone, but it'd be cool to try to get the whole set at that national. Because what he does is I think he only gives you one and you have to go trade to get the other 4
Really?
or 5. Yeah.
That's cool. I think that before we move on to the mantle, right? We'd be remiss if we didn't talk about that. I think the one thing that I'm most excited for is the freedom and flexibility to just do whatever, whenever. You know what I mean? So if like midday, people are stanking and it's hot and it sucks, like I'm perfectly fine going back and chilling at the hotel, grabbing a drink, going to a casino, go and laying some bets on some, baseball games. Like I like the freedom and the flexibility to do that. So I'm a very now I just got done telling you I'm like really anxious, but I'm also when it comes to stuff like this, I'm like really go with the flow. As long as we're having a good time, I'm down for whatever.
That's how I am. I'm gonna go with the flow, except I don't know, like people scare me because every time I talk to someone, they say it's like so much. I feel claustrophobic with a lot of people, so I'm hoping that it's not too claustrophobic. Because I'll be going with you to the casino. We'll make some future bets, Bears and Cowboys wins, totals or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I like whatever happens, whatever. We're gonna have a blast.
Yeah,
like I said, there's gonna be a huge sigh of relief for wifey tomorrow when she gets done. When we get done with hobby night school, but you know what I mean. Like we're not buying the 52 Mantle, so it's just chill. When you've been to Vegas, you've been to Mint, so it's not that big of a deal. There's just when you're at the 460,000 square feet of hobby mania, like that might be like asses to elbows, but when you get outside of that, it's not terrible.
Yeah. Well, I looked at the map of National, and it looks like you're reading an electrical design, trying to figure it out. It looks big, so.
You want the busiest I've ever seen or I've ever been anywhere is we went to Vegas for Pacquiao Mayweather, and it was a sea of people where you couldn't even get into the casino unless you were staying at that casino.
Oh wow!
Now that was like everywhere you went, like there was nowhere to move. And so we stayed up to like 2-3 o'clock. And then just at that time, I was waking up every morning like 4 or 5 o'clock. So like I just woke up naturally. And we went down. It was like 7-8 o'clock on a Sunday morning post fight to go get Starbucks. And you would think it was a Friday night at like 9-10 p.m. The people were wilding, dude. They were still, all the people bet big money on Floyd were having a good old time.
Like that. Well, hey, that's one thing that we're not going to have to deal with, though. The time change. It's going to be the same time change. Like when you go to Vegas, you have to deal with that 3-hour delay. Now we don't have to deal with that. So it's going to be good. We're going to be wanting to go to bed at 1 while the people from like California are going to be trying to party until like 5 in the morning.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm scared about is like I'm going to try to pace myself a little bit, maybe show up to the show a little bit later in the morning. Because if I show up at like 5-6 o'clock, then you walk 42 miles, you're wheeling, you're dealing, you're talking. Yeah. I want to be able to hang with the young people at nighttime, with the kids. Like I said, man, I like the trade night. You can flip cards, you can see some cool stuff, and maybe move into something that you didn't think you had a possibility yet.
Yeah, I guess that's my goal is a trade night. But let's talk about the 52 Mantle. The 9.5 highest grade. 9.5 for an SGC is pretty pristine, right? Would you say?
Yeah, here's the thing that's crazy about me, man, about all of this. Right now, at the time of recording this, it's Tuesday, July 26th. There's 32 days left in the auction. This bad boy is already at 5.1 million. With the buyer's premium, it's already 6.12.
That's
for
insane.
An SGC 9.5. And so we're going to talk about PWCC and some of these partnerships. I'm wondering, and I'm curious, and I want to be clear about this. I don't buy a lot of stuff from these big auction houses. I don't have Manny Flores money, and I don't have Courtney Reckless money. You know what I mean? I'm just a humble blue-collar guy trying to make it in this crazy world.
All right.
How the hell did this thing end up in an SGC slab and at Heritage Auction House?
Heritage is vintage, I believe, type of auction house. And once you say SGC is vintage type grading company?
No. I'm not. I am, to be clear, I'm not disputing
No.
either of their credentials or their ability or whatever. I just find when PWCC Premier Auction and Ken Golden Auction is rammed down my throat ad
Yeah.
nauseum. And that sounds like I'm being a hater. I'm not being a hater, but I mean, you know what I mean? Those are like the two big. How does this card make its way into an SGC slab and then to this particular auction house? And then, like, what a bomb if you're Heritage. Everybody's like, and PWCC is doing a lot of cool stuff, and some of the documentaries and shit that they're doing is so cool. And they got some awesome people working over there. And then Golden's doing some cool stuff, and I'm sure everybody's like coming into National, like, yeah, big dog. And then Heritage just comes out and just fucking lays the meat on the table with this thing, right?
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, because what people think, and I don't know, because in my novice, I do think there's a PSA 9 that I saw that somebody had posted up that looks, from an eye appeal, maybe looks a smidge better. But people think this thing could go over 10.
I think it might. Well, it's already at 6 million, which I don't get. If you're trying to bid on a card, why is everyone bidding up on it right now? Why not wait and be like, I don't get it.
Okay, so I recently won some stuff on eBay that I bid that I sometimes, because I'm afraid that it'll get lost in my watch list, so I'll bid on it so that way when my phone gets the push alerts when there's 15 minutes left or 14 minutes left, or if I've been outbid. Yeah. So sometimes I'll do that. I on a side note, I just won some auctions that are only the result because the poor person was doing it during National.
Yeah.
Which, because I'm like, there's no way I'm winning these cards. I'm just going to place a bid, and depending on where it's at, come end of the auction time. But maybe that's it, because I think I saw a video with Probstein, and he is like, "I'm the highest bidder. Are you going to bid on that?" Like, it makes for good content, and like, I wonder if people are doing that, thinking, okay, there's still a whole another month. This thing's definitely going to get up, and I'm curious if somebody's going to like write a check that they're going to be like, damn.
Logan Paul's going to end up buying it. Watch. It's nuts that, like, it's funny watching millionaires go at it, right? On one card. That's a card that, I mean, you have to have. It doesn't come up often. I hope it goes over 10 because it's going to be good publicity for the hobby.
Here's the thing, man. I agree that, like, I'm all about the publicity. This is cool. I don't know, man. I don't know if this is the card. I don't know if I would want to drop 10 when there's 3 PSA 10s available. You know what I mean?
Well, they're not available, right?
Well, no. I mean, they're out there. Correct.
That's probably why. Because they don't know when that's going to be available, right? We know a couple owners. We know the Diamondbacks owner has one, right?
Yeah, he's got a disgusting collection.
Yeah, Rob G has a PSA 9. And I think Rob G paid, what did he pay last year? It was like
5.2.
What was it?
5.2, excuse me.
Yeah, so it's already exceeded the amount that Rob G. I bet he's pumped right now. So
on the card, they've got this, and we might. I think somebody just got home from late night, last minute National run. So if you hear some dogs, please excuse me. But the label on this, I don't know. Did you see the label?
I didn't.
Okay, so it says 1952 Topps, number 311 Mickey Mantle, and then in parentheses it says 1985 Rosenfind, finest known example. And it's got this on the label. So, like, I was thinking, like, is this like I don't know if you saw the Jordan that said from PSA Steve Aoki's collection. I thought that was, I didn't think that was cool. I thought that was kind of lame. So I did a little research, and I'm just going to read a couple of graphs, all right?
Yeah.
The most famous find made by a man who is still hobby's most famous individual dealer included one copy of the 1952 Mickey Mantle that was Alan Rosin's favorite. He even took time to put it in writing. Freshly graded 9.5 mint plus by SGC, the card has been in the possession of Anthony Giordano, the original buyer who acquired it at a card show in 1991 for 50 Gs. So My guy Giordano bought it for 50 racks in 91 and has just been sitting on it since 51.
Yeah.
Now that card, Rosen's pick as the best of a sparkling litter he uncovered in 1986, is up for sale through Heritage Auction. The star attraction in the company's August Platinum Night Sale. It appears poised to become the most expensive sports card or piece of memorabilia ever sold. So then it goes on to talk about it. The card was part of Rosen's most famous find, stacks of virtually untouched 52 Topps cards, about 3/4 of which were coveted high numbers. Which were the coveted high numbers. Blah, 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 blah. They found 5,500 cards. 65 of them were Mantles. So this guy went through and so the Rosen's find is he found this stash of insane cards. And so I'm pulling this from sportscarddaily.com. Big ups to Rich Mueller, who wrote the article. But I just thought it was fascinating because I didn't understand where that came from, the label.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I've heard rumors. I don't know if this is true or not, but he sold the card for 50. What was it, 450? Or he bought it for 50?
He bought it for 50.
And then sold it and then rebought it back. And this was all raw when he was buying them. It was the raw. Then he graded it and got the 9.5. That's the rumor I heard. I'm not positive or 100% accurate, but I did hear that story. Wasn't sure. But if that's the case, just think of like the hands that's touched it being a raw card.
Yeah, I mean, I encourage everybody to read the article. There's also True Mint by Alan Mr. Mint Rosen. I'm actually fascinated by this guy. I'm actually going to probably do some research and check out who this hobby hustler was. But that is a lot of coin, man. That is a lot of damn coin.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, I don't know. Just thinking that you're going to have, you have $10 million card and you could sell it and make it pretty much in 30 days, right?
Yeah. So, okay, I'm in it. Since we brought it up, Giordano kept the card ungraded for more than 30 years before finally relenting. He was concerned about putting its fate in the hands of someone who knows less about the card than I do, which means he doesn't want one of these YouTubers who don't know shit about cards buying him. He wants it going in the hands of a pure hobbyist.
Yeah.
Derek Grady, who spent years as a professional grader and heritage consignment director, Lee Iskowitz ultimately convinced Giordano to send the card to SGC, and they held their breath waiting for the verdict. So I wonder what like the negotiations are and like the recruitment when you have a card like that.
Yeah.
Because you get, I have a friend he's got a card going live in Golden, and I know some people have sold some stuff in PWCC. So I'm like, familiar, but these aren't $10 million cards, right? These are, 5-figure, maybe 6-figure cards.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have the creme de la creme, I'm interested to see like how that goes. And I'm still curious of why they went. I bet you they thought it was good enough. My assumption is if you remove the money and all the funny business that could potentially take place in this crazy hobby is, hey, we've got this beautiful looking card. We've got somebody who's held in high regard through the hobby who said it was the best that he had ever seen. We don't think it'll 10. And if you don't think it's going to 10 through PSA, it's going to 9. So we have another $5.2 million cards. But we do think that it's a little bit better than a 9. So maybe SGC's the play.
Yeah. It's crazy how they decide that. Because, I mean, if you think about it, you want to go PSA to get the most value, right? I don't know how the vintage world works with SGC.
SGC's like they're well regarded when it comes to vintage baseball.
Yeah. So maybe that's why, but it's insane. I can't wait to see. We'll kind of cover it and kind of see where it ends.
I mean, it's going to be like we'll probably won't cover it. We might just touch on it and say, like, did you see that's at? Because everybody's going to beat this thing into the ground.
That's true.
I just think it's fascinating. I wonder, like, because I start thinking of like, man, maybe what if you wanted it in a PSA slab, but you're not committed to selling it through Golden? Like, you don't want any funny business, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying any of these companies do that, but if you're all owned by the same person, if I'm PSA, I'm probably not trying to help somebody that's going to take something and go to a competitor.
Yep.
Maybe. Yep. I don't know.
I don't know. I it's kind of like you can't really, because it's out of our realm, right? How about we make it a goal for me and you to acquire a card like this in our lifetime together?
So, this is big news, right? And it kind of like shadows, or what is that the right terminology? Overshadows?
Shadow.
Because PWCC dropped a couple of nuggets today. They partnered with BGS last week. Now today they just announced they partnered with 130 Point, which before any of these apps, everybody had eBay open on one Safari tab and 130 Point on the other. And so now you're going to be able to go and see like the PWCC history through 130 Point is basically what the deal looks like. So interested in that. The other one that I thought was intriguing was PWCC has partnered with Mike Baker, like the black diamond or silver diamond, bronze diamond, whatever the hell that thing is. And you can get cards authenticated for $6 and you get like high res pictures and stuff like that. So interested to see, like, there's a lot of partnerships and deals being made. And I'm wondering if we're going to end up with Collector's Universe or PWCC.
Yeah, exactly. Because PWCC is buying everything. They also, this is one person that or a group that I'm excited to see, and they had their auction on there. Was Camp Kesem Slabstocks, Slabstock Aaron, Slabstock Nate. They've been doing a charity event. I don't know if you heard about this. And they had their auction, or their auctions go up on PWCC, so they're partnered with them as well. So you have them as well on top of Mike Baker and 130 Point. And all like their funds go to like this Camp Kesem, that their kids with like cancer, and Slabstock Aaron and them are basically giving it all the funds all to them, which is awesome.
We hung out with them a little bit last year. It was like Cage, Andrew from Lucas Tigers Braun. It was Kevin Nagandi from ESPN. It was Slabstocks Nate, and I feel bad. I forget his name. He did a real cool basketball pod for a minute, and I don't know if he still does it.
Is it Adam?
I don't remember the name. I feel bad. He was a real nice guy, but we hung out for a little bit, and they seemed nice enough people. But everybody refers to him as like Slabstocks this, so it just sounds weird to be like, "Hey, Aaron."
I know, right? Yeah, PW, like going back at PWCC seems like everyone wants to be a part of. They're picking up even content creators, right?
We interviewed Adam, the Real 27 guy, and they're doing a lot of cool stuff, man. It's just it's exciting. It's imperative that you as the consumer make sure that you pay attention, you educate yourself, and you take advantage, because there's a lot of opportunities as there's different marketplaces popping up, and just understanding how these different entities are working together. But yeah, I want to I don't want to get into that because some people might get bogged down. What I want to know is how many cases of Panini Eminence football are you going to buy?
None.
Come on, man.
I can't afford it. I can get a box. Yeah, I just told you that I'm losing my ass on all these cards, and you want me to get a case.
Dude, Eminence for football. Check this out. Even when you get into high-end sports card, there's a scale. For 2021 Panini Eminence football, it's the highest end, going past National Treasures and even Flawless for its luxury level checklist.
I love how they butter that.
For starters, no individual card on the product's checklist has more than 10 copies. At minimum, everything also has either an on-card autograph, cut signature, diamonds, bars of platinum, gold, or silver embedded in them. Many cards have combinations of these or additional memorabilia. So maybe you got to buy a $50,000 box to get a game-used patch.
Exactly. Or a Christmas sweater, right?
Yeah. So, dude, this is nuts. 10 cards per pack, 1 pack per box. and I cannot find a price on this, but this thing is going to be expensive. Let's make a wager. What do you think this thing starts at?
What it starts?
Well, I mean, secondhand. So like NT's going for what, $5K right now a box?
It should. I bet it goes to like 7, 8, right?
7, 8. Pick a number.
8.
I'm gonna take the over.
You're gonna take over 8?
Yeah, because when was the last time there was Eminence football?
I don't know.
It's a disgusting draft class. You know what I mean? So there's going to be the people that are going to buy and hold, just hoping that whether it's Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, you know, I know Bro Namath will buy one because that guy has every damn Trevor Lawrence one of one there is. But yeah, Mac Jones, Justin Fields, you know what I mean? Like Trey Lance, like I could see this getting over 10K a box.
Yeah, wow, that'd be insane. That gets close to like V-Friends mark per box, right?
Man, and so that's nuts. That grabbed my attention. I saw the commercial and I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. I don't even know how you would break. I mean, think about that. Let's use my number. $10,000. You buy in, you get one card for a G.
That's insane. Nope. That's it's gonna go for that too. Now that you put it that way, it's definitely going to go like that because breakers are gonna buy it for breaks.
Yeah. So last thing, and then we'll get the hell up out of here. And you know, it's the eve. You know what I mean? Optic football came out. Did you rip any?
No, the parallels scare me. There's too many parallels. Panini's scaring me.
There's downtowns. There's golds, there's Pandora's Black, there's whatever the hell there is. That is a lot of stuff going on.
I love Panini with their brands, but man, recently they're just throwing parallels. They're throwing more people in the set for Prism. It seems like, I don't want to say they're trying to, because I know they haven't been bought out or purchased by Fanatics, but it seems like they're just trying to get their money right now, and it scares me. Like the rumors are true.
Yeah. What are you going to do, man? I had 2 boxes and we sold it.
Yeah.
We sold it. I thought about ripping it for a second, and like there was that FOMO, and I'm like, you know what? Let's wait, and if it's still cool in a couple months, we'll rip it. But right now, let's not get caught up in the FOMO. Let's get that bread.
What's the resale for that?
Like we sold ours at like $750 a box, $750, $800.
Well, if we
really, it's like let's say like $775, and then we covered shipping and goods and services.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's less than last year. I think last year it was like up to like 900 at one point. So the wax is kind of going down, right?
Yep. So we're gonna end it the way we always do.
Yep.
We're gonna rock out, getting to know your host, hobby style. And so I felt like I brought the bar up last week, and I'm hoping that you guys you come with some good stuff.
Don't do this to me. If you listen to the podcast, you know this one. Trade night or card shows?
Trade night.
Trade night. Topps versus Panini. Versus Upper Deck. Or we could put Upper Deck in that as well.
Panini, man. It would be a majority of my collecting was like when I was a kid and then when I was an adult. So like that Topps, like, you know, I could lie and be like everybody else and be like, oh, I love Finest. Like I really wasn't around for it. I can appreciate it, but then I can bitch and complain about Panini. But you know, if I had unlimited funds, I would be buying Panini products. There isn't like a Topps product right now that would probably well, I mean, yeah, we're gonna rip soccer, of course. But
Topps
Panini.
Would you rather eat food not cooked for the rest of your life or cooked foods for the rest of your life?
Cooked foods.
Cooked foods. And then national, the last 2 destinations in Atlantic City or in Chicago?
Chicago.
I was going to say, you better say Chicago.
Chicago.
If you had to pick for a pet, would you rather have a tiger or a lion? What are you?
Lion.
Lion?
I've got 2 lion statues in front of my house, man. I went through like this whole like period of time where I was working for a private equity firm, and everything, like they gave us lion lapels. Everything was about EBITDA. You got to be a lion, go kill what's yours, take over the world, all that stuff, man. I was drinking that shit like Kool-Aid. So yeah, lion.
Which era did you prefer, steroid era or the juice ball era?
Steroid era, man. I was in high school when Sammy was hitting bombs and they would interrupt. So you go to the football game and I was trying to holler at girls and they would be like, what's the scores? Oh, we're going to take a timeout. Sammy Sosa has just hit home run number 63. And then all the people would go nuts. That's Woodstock, awesome. With my suburbs.
Yeah, it would have been cool to go to be in Chicago during that. And what made it better was Cardinals and Cubs hate each other. So it was a good rivalry.
Yep, I'm right there.
Beer or wine?
Beer, not even close.
Craft beer or light beer?
Light beer.
Light beer. Okay. What do you prefer?
Michelob Ultralight, man.
I've never
had like water. It's like water, man. People, I get my balls busted all the time. It's like water. You can drink 42. You can drink like 48 of those things and be fine.
I'll have to try it this week. Last at Mint, I was trying Stella, and I actually like Stella a lot.
Dude, I was in St. Regis in Buckhead, so it's like a wealthy, nice place. And we went to this dinner, and everybody's drinking I like cigars, right? And I always get the pairing that goes with it. And sometimes it's like a couple $100 for like 1 ounce, and I'll try it. And inevitably, I never drink it. I'm like, nah, this is not for me. Give me a Bud Light. Well, we were at this fancy dinner. There was like maybe 12 of us. So when they poured the soup, 12 people poured the soup at the same time. And it was like super bougie, man. Super bougie. It was cool. But I wasn't going to be the one guy that ordered like a Bud Light. Everybody else was drinking like whiskeys and scotches at the steakhouse. And I was like, I know I don't like that. So somebody had wine. I'm like, I'll drink the wine. So I was drinking it, but I was drinking wine like I would drink like a little Michelob Ultralight. Well, I woke up the next morning, dude. I didn't think I went to bed drunk, but I woke up with the worst headache I had ever had in my life. I hated it. There was like a little red ring around my pillow from it. And then I ordered room service. It was like $150 for breakfast with gratuity. You know what I mean? And it was like,
I'm done with wine.
You know that your head's not in the right spot where you like, yeah, whatever, $150. Bring it.
Would you rather chew your toenails or Courtney's fingernails?
Courtney's fingernails.
All right. No internet or no cell phone coverage?
Isn't that the same thing?
Nope.
No cell phone coverage or no internet.
If you're out in the boondocks, you don't have internet or cell phone coverage, right?
Yeah, I guess. Man, I could probably benefit from being disconnected a little bit. So I'll go no internet.
No internet?
Yeah.
This one's kind of cool because I was actually thinking about what I would want to do. So you're a time traveler. Would you rather meet your great-great-grandparents or meet your great-great-grandkids?
Great-great-grandkids. I want to see what impact I had on my kids and see how that translated down the road.
Yeah, see that's kind of what I was going to, but I like that type of question. Fast food every day or never eat at a restaurant? And you're picky, so I know.
I can't do fast food every day.
So eating at a restaurant?
I'll never eat at a restaurant.
No more hot dogs at Chicago's?
Man, you get some Vienna beef. You can make them at home.
So you have to get rid of one, coffee or water. And that's why I asked you that question earlier.
Oh, fuck. I am getting rid of water.
Water?
And what's weird is water is number one, coffee's number two, and then everything else is a distant number three. But I can get hydrated in other ways, man. I'll drink something, but coffee, man, I love coffee.
Mm-hmm. Well, you might die early. You need water, so
no, I'll get my hydration somewhere else. I'll drink something that contains water. Okay. You know what I mean?
Okay. Beer, light beer.
There you go, light beer. Everybody tells me it's water anyway.
Peloton or working out with dumbbells?
Oh, lifting weights.
Lifting? Okay.
I like the Peloton though. I was for a while when we got done with the 75 hard, like 3-4 months ago, I probably shed like I don't know, 40, 50 pounds. And like I was like top 10%, man. And I'm up against these, like, I'll never touch like the top like 5 or 6% because what they do in like one 40-minute ride would take me 3 weeks to get to. But yeah, you get on that thing, man, 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes coupled with weightlifting, weight just melts off of you.
What's your go-to?
Shout out to Jessica King. What's that?
What is that? Your trainer?
Well, her and Allie are probably my two favorite.
What kind of music?
I always and there's a girl, I forget her name. She does like metal, like Corn, and I guess Corn's probably not metal, but like something like that. Otherwise, I like hip hop.
Hip hop, okay.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
That's how I filter it, dude. I filter it by the instructor, the genre of music, and the time, and then we go from there.
The instructor. That's all I have. I'm excited to see you tomorrow and hang out for the rest of the week, and make some deals and learn from you. So
I just wanted to know how the hell we've been sitting here for 61 minutes. And you were sober, and as the episode went, you got higher and higher and higher. Now your eyes are barely open. You're red-eyed, and you're partying already. You don't party until tomorrow, man.
Yeah, I used to get told that every time when I'm happy, my eyes get squintier. So,
well, you must be happy. So let's go enjoy the National. This will drop Wednesday night. We'll be going live a bunch, talking with people. And thank you for checking it out. So make sure you follow, like, subscribe, do all that good shiz.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm out of here.
Wait, before we go, follow us on Instagram, Thicc Pod, because we are going live and doing content during the National. But besides that, I hope you enjoyed this episode and see you guys soon.